There's a woman in her late 70s who walks into a room, and every woman under 40 starts asking where she shops. Not because she's wearing anything trendy, not because she's spent a fortune. It's because she figured out something most of us never get taught. Looking elegant isn't about your age, your budget, or even your closet size. It's about 7 very specific choices she makes every single morning, and today I'm going to walk you through every one of them. Stick around for number 4, because that's the one that trips up almost every woman I talk to, even the ones who think they've already got their style figured out. Hi there, and welcome back to Timeless Style After 60. If this is your first time here, I talk about how to look polished, feel confident, and dress like the best version of yourself, at any age, without draining your savings account. If you're new, go ahead and hit subscribe now, so you don't miss what's coming. And if you're one of my regulars, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Today's topic came from a woman I've been watching for years, someone who never chased trends but somehow always looks like she stepped out of a magazine. Let's get into what she actually does differently. Rule 1. She never wears color randomly near her face. Here's something most of us never think about. As we get older, our skin tone shifts. It's subtle, but it's real. Colors that looked wonderful on us at 30 can start washing us out at 60 or 70. This isn't about giving up color, it's about being intentional with it. The mistake almost every woman makes is grabbing whatever color she's always worn, out of habit, without checking whether it still flatters her now. Your undertones change, your hair color changes, and a shade that once made you glow can suddenly make you look tired. The fix is simple. Hold different colors up near your face in natural daylight and really look. Warm ivories, soft corals, and deep berries tend to bring life back into a mature complexion. Cool grays and harsh whites can sometimes do the opposite. You don't need a color consultant for this. You just need 5 minutes and a mirror by a window. A quick styling tip: if you're not sure which colors work, start with a scarf. It's the cheapest, lowest risk way to test a shade near your face before committing to an entire blouse or dress. I think of a viewer named Diane who wrote to me last year. She'd worn the same navy blazer for a decade because it was safe. When she finally swapped it for a warm plum version in the same cut, she said 3 people complimented her in one afternoon. Same silhouette, different color, completely different reaction. And here's the confidence piece. When a color flatters you, you stand differently. You stop tugging at your collar or avoiding photos. That shift in body language often does more for how put together you look than the outfit itself. If you're working with a tight budget, you don't need a new wardrobe. A $5 scarf in the right shade can lift an entire outfit you already own. It also helps to pay attention to what happens in photographs. Cameras are honest, in a way mirrors sometimes aren't. If you look back at recent pictures and notice you seem washed out or tired in certain colors, that's useful information, not something to feel bad about. Take note of which photos make you look bright and rested, and start paying attention to what you were wearing in those shots. Over time, you'll build a mental list of your best colors without ever setting foot in a color consultant's office. Rule 2. She fits her clothes to her body, not her body to her clothes. This one might be the single biggest difference between looking put together and looking like you just grabbed something off the rack. It has nothing to do with size. It has everything to do with fit. So many women hold on to clothing sized for a body they had years ago, hoping it'll still work. Or they buy something a size too big because it feels safer. Either way, the result is the same. Fabric that bunches, hangs, or pulls in all the wrong places, which visually adds years and pounds that aren't even there. The fix costs less than you'd think. A good tailor can take in a waist, shorten a sleeve, or adjust a hem for often less than the price of a new item. That 78-year-old woman I mentioned? Half her closet is thrifted pieces that a tailor reshaped to fit her exactly. Nobody can tell. A styling tip here: pay attention to the shoulder seam on jackets and the rise on pants. Those 2 spots make or break how expensive something looks, regardless of the actual price tag. I remember a reader named Carol telling me she brought a $15 blazer from a thrift shop to her local tailor, spent another $12 getting it nipped at the waist, and got asked twice where she bought her designer jacket. Confidence-wise, Well-fitted clothing lets you move naturally instead of adjusting yourself all day. You stop thinking about your outfit and start thinking about the conversation you're having, which is exactly where your attention should be. One more thing worth mentioning: sleeve length matters more than most of us realize. A sleeve that ends at the wrong point on your wrist can make an arm look shorter or heavier than it is. It's a small detail, but small details separate an outfit that looks intentional from one that looks accidental. Rule 3. She picks one statement, never three. Here's a trap a lot of us fall into without realizing it. We get excited about accessorizing, so we layer on the necklace, the earrings, the scarf, the brooch, and the bracelet, all at once. Individually, every piece is lovely. Together, they compete with each other, and honestly, they compete with you. Why does this happen so often? Because as we build a jewelry collection over decades, we want to wear the pieces we love, all of them, right now. It comes from a good place, but visually, it reads as cluttered rather than elegant. The fix is choosing one focal point per outfit: a bold necklace on its own, statement earrings without the necklace, a striking scarf, and let everything else stay quiet. This is exactly what that 78-year-old style icon does. One piece, and she lets it shine. A simple tip: before you leave the house, do a final check in the mirror and remove one accessory. Almost always, the outfit looks more refined once you do. I think about a friend of mine, Linda, who used to wear every piece of her mother's jewelry collection at once for special occasions. Once she started wearing just the pearl brooch and nothing else, people started asking where the brooch was from, instead of just seeing a blur of sparkle. This rule is genuinely free. You already own the pieces. You're just choosing more carefully. But the biggest mistake on this list is still coming, and it's one I used to make myself for years. Rule 4. She chooses texture over bulk when layering. This is the one that surprises almost everyone, because it goes against what we've been taught our whole lives. When it's cold, or when we want to look more put together, the instinct is to add layers, thicker layers, more fabric, bigger sweaters. It feels cozy, but it can visually add width and age to a silhouette in a way that's completely unintentional. The reason this mistake is so common is that bulky layering used to be marketed as sophisticated. Think oversized cardigans and heavy wool coats. But bulk hides your shape rather than complementing it, and that can make you look older and smaller at the same time, even when that's the opposite of your intention. The fix is layering with texture instead of thickness. A lightweight cashmere cardigan over a silky blouse does more visually than a chunky knit sweater ever could. Mixing a smooth fabric with a slightly textured one, like a fine rib knit under a structured blazer, adds depth without adding bulk. Here's a practical tip: if you're going to layer, make sure at least one piece is fitted. A loose top under a loose cardigan, under a loose coat, erases your shape entirely. One fitted layer anchors the whole look. That 78-year-old woman is often seen in a lightweight turtleneck under an open blazer, and it reads as effortlessly chic, not because it's expensive, but because the proportions are right. For anyone on a budget, thrift stores are full of cashmere and silk blend pieces that were donated because they went out of style, not because the quality wasn't there. You can build a texture-rich wardrobe for very little if you're patient and check often. Confidence tip here: when your layers are lighter, you move more freely, and that ease shows. Stiff, heavy clothing can make you move more cautiously, which unintentionally reads as less confident. Rule 5. She treats shoes as the foundation, not an afterthought. We've all done this. We plan the whole outfit and then grab whatever shoes are by the door because we're running late. But shoes do more visual work than almost anything else we wear, and scuffed, outdated, or mismatched shoes can undercut an otherwise beautiful outfit in seconds. Why does this happen so often? Because shoes are usually the last thing we put on, and the last thing we think about, especially once comfort becomes the priority, which it absolutely should. The good news is that comfort and polish are not opposites anymore. The fix is having 2 or 3 versatile, well-maintained pairs rather than a closet full of shoes you never wear. A clean white sneaker, a low block heel, and a classic loafer will cover almost every situation, and none of them require sacrificing your feet. A quick tip: Invest in shoe cleaner and a soft brush. 5 minutes of maintenance can make a 3-year-old pair of shoes look brand new, and that visual polish matters more than people realize. I think of a viewer named Pat who switched from worn-out canvas sneakers to a simple, clean pair of leather look flats, and said her husband noticed before she even said anything. Same budget range, completely different impression. Think of your shoes the way you'd think of the frame around a painting. A beautiful outfit with worn-out shoes is like a great painting in a chipped, dusty frame. Nobody names the frame as the problem, but it changes how the whole picture feels. If you're watching and thinking, I've learned something new already, let me know in the comments which one of these you've tried, even if it's just the shoe tip. And if you're enjoying these timeless style ideas, go ahead and like this video. It genuinely helps this channel reach more women like you. Rule 6. She invests in basics, not trends. Here's something that quietly separates women who look effortlessly elegant from women who feel like they're always shopping and never satisfied. It's not about spending more, it's about spending smarter. The common mistake is chasing whatever's trending, a specific print, a specific silhouette, because it feels current. But trends fade fast, sometimes within a single season, and a closet full of them can end up feeling cluttered and strangely dated all at once. The fix is putting your actual money, even if it's a small amount, toward the pieces you wear constantly. A well-made pair of trousers, a blazer that fits like it was made for you, a quality handbag in a neutral color. These are the pieces doing the heavy lifting in almost every outfit that 78-year-old woman wears. A styling tip: before buying anything, ask yourself if you'd still want it in 3 years. If the honest answer is no, it's probably a trend piece, and that's fine occasionally. Just don't build your wardrobe around it. For the budget-conscious among us, this doesn't mean designer prices. It means prioritizing fabric and construction over flashy details. A simple wool blend coat from a mid-range store will often outlast and outperform 3 trendy fast fashion coats combined. This approach also saves money long-term, which is its own kind of confidence. Getting dressed becomes simpler when your closet is full of pieces that actually work together, instead of a pile of one-off trend purchases. There's also a quiet mental shift that happens when your wardrobe is built this way. You stop standing in front of your closet feeling like you have nothing to wear, even though it's full. When every piece can pair with several others, getting dressed stops being a daily puzzle and starts being something almost automatic. That kind of ease is worth more than any single trendy item ever could be. You'll definitely want to see the last one, because it's not really about clothing at all, and it's the one thing that ties every single rule together. Rule 7. She lets her posture do half the work. This is the rule nobody talks about enough. You could have the perfect color, the perfect fit, the ideal accessory, and the right shoes, and still look diminished if your posture is closing you off. Rounded shoulders and a lowered chin can add visual years faster than almost any clothing choice. Why does this happen so often? Honestly, it's rarely about age. It's about habit, sitting at desks for decades, carrying bags on one shoulder, or simply not being taught that posture is a style choice, not just a health one. The fix doesn't require a gym membership. It's as simple as standing with your shoulders gently pulled back, your chin level instead of dropped, and your weight evenly distributed. That's it. That one shift changes how every single outfit on this list actually reads on you. A tip that helps: imagine a string gently pulling up from the top of your head whenever you catch yourself slouching. At the sink, in line at the store, wherever. It takes seconds, and it becomes automatic with practice. That 78-year-old woman everyone admires isn't wearing anything younger women can't afford. She's standing in a way that says she belongs exactly where she is. That's not something you buy. That's something you decide, starting today if you want to. So there you have it, 7 rules that have nothing to do with your age and everything to do with intention. None of them require a bigger budget. Most of them cost little to nothing at all. What they do require is a little attention and the willingness to do things slightly differently than you have out of habit. Style after 60 was never about hiding or fading into the background. It's about walking into a room the same way that 78-year-old woman does, with clothes that fit, colors that flatter, and a posture that says you know exactly who you are. That kind of confidence doesn't have an age limit, and it never will. If today's video helped you see your closet a little differently, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I've got new videos like this every week. And if you want to keep going, check out the video on my channel about the 5 colors that instantly age your wardrobe. It pairs perfectly with everything we covered today. And remember, you don't have to apply all 7 at once. Pick one that stood out to you today and try just that this week. Small, consistent changes stick far better than overhauling your whole closet in a weekend. Give yourself permission to go slowly. Elegance was never a race. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Go stand a little taller, wear that color you've been avoiding, and I'll see you in the next one.